Well, welcome. You're looking at a 1942 Douglas C-53, which was the military version, later Douglas DC-3A, built in Santa Monica in 1942. It went immediately to China to serve for in the U.S. Army Air Corps, helping the Chinese, the nationalist Chinese, fight against the Japanese. So it flew the Burma hump, which is the Himalayas, of course, and was very treacherous service there. Stayed in China in post-war, and that's why you see the colors painted the way she is. It was owned in post-war by Chiang Kai-shek, the nationalist leader of China, and his business partner, General Claire Chennault from the American Volunteer Group. And the business, the Civil Air Transport Company, was by day an airline, and by night helped support the troops fighting the communists in post-war. And the airplane was very, very well regarded, very heavily used to support the nationalists against the communists, and later came back to the U.S. It was sold back to the U.S. in 1953. The Civil Air Transport Company, though, very interestingly, was supported in post-war China by the OSS, later the CIA. And this company, the Civil Air Transport Company, later became Air America, the CIA's clandestine airline. So this was one of their first airplanes, and has an awful lot of history. It came back to the States. It came back as was converted into this DC-3A with a corporate interior and many of the Pan American speed mods you see on it as a corporate airplane for Union Oil and many others. So it's been it's had a long life. It only has 20,000 hours on it. Got two really good engines on it. One has about 300 hours, one has 150 hours. And we're getting ready for this big trip across the water.
I'm Joe Anderson, owner of Benovia Winery, founder, and also the owner of Spirit of Benovia, the variant of the DC-3 C-53 troop carrier behind me. We're doing the trip to Normandy this summer and then on to Germany for the Berlin airlift in honor of course, my dad and my uncles who fought during World War II, but also all of the other hundreds of thousands of troops who served, and really the 500,000 didn't come back worldwide who were killed in action. Aircraft for 11 years, and 10th year of ownership, you got to pull the wings off and do corrosion inspections, and we said, okay, let's make it look like it did when it flew for Civil Air Transport in Southeast Asia, where this airplane served during World War II. So these aircraft are like living people. These aircraft served along with the soldiers, just like the tanks served. And these aircraft, if you take care of them and fly them, they literally will last forever. But you got to take care of them like you would a child or a friend, and they're just an amazing contribution to our country. The effort of this is really to bring recognition and knowledge to the people in our country, especially the students who may not know the history of the importance of what happened during World War II. And then in order for us to help others accomplish this mission, people who are not as blessed financially as I am, we came out with a wine called Liberation, that the proceeds from the sale of that wine is going back to D-Day Squadron Tennyson Foundation to help fund other guys, other planes who are not, who need a little extra dough to get ready to go.
To celebrate the 75th anniversary of D-Day and later the 70th anniversary of the Berlin airlift, I'll leave Phoenix, Arizona on May 10th, headed for Oxford, Connecticut. There I'll join up with about 14 other DC-3s, and together we'll cross the Atlantic on our way to Duxford, England, where we will then recreate D-Day invasion. We're hoping to have about 15 more airplanes from Europe, and even one, I think, from Australia. And on the day, on D-Day, we should have 30 DC-3s flying across the channel, dropping paratroopers onto the beach to honor all those veterans that served, and especially those that never came back. So it'll be quite the monumental trip. Now after that, we're going on to Berlin to celebrate the 70th anniversary of the Berlin airlift. We're expecting 400,000 people in Berlin when we arrive to celebrate. So it's going to be quite the big trip. So I'll tell you what, let's go flying.